Gossipers, 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 please like, share, subscribe. Now, Offset, as you know, last week he got shot, right? He's fine, he's okay. He looked dirty in his pictures when he came out of the hospital to smoke. This is after he got shot in a wheelchair with cigarette. Anyways, now it's been reported by TMZ that in February, a document stated that Offset wanted a DNA test of his ex, not wife, ex, Cardi B's fourth child, who she has with a football player, Stefon Diggs. Now, when she announced that she was pregnant with her fourth child, of course, people were talking about, ooh, is it Offset's? And, and she's like, no, it's her boyfriend now, Stefon Diggs. And even, I think he even came out and questioned, but then it was like, no, he wants to make sure it's not his, basically, something to that effect. Well, anyways, documents have been uprooted showing that in February he did request a paternity test of the child, the fourth child, who we still haven't seen, and he was denied. So we're going to read this quick article from TMZ, and it says, Offset to Cardi B: I want DNA testing on baby with Stefon. Cardi B's got some splaining to do about the paternity of her youngest child, at least according to Offset, who was clearly wondering if it was his or Stefon Diggs, TMZ has learned. TMZ obtained a court order issued in Cardi B and Offset's divorce case on February 2026, and in it, the judge denied the ex-Migos rapper's request for a DNA test on the baby. So for Stefon baby, the judge denied that. But then it says, but the paternity request he wanted for another child of Cardi B was granted. So is he questioning Blossom, the third baby? The dates of birth of the children are redacted in the order, but one is described as a newborn, so that's got to be Stefon's kid, who was born in November. The last child Offset and Cardi had together was born in 2024. Any rekindling this time around seems highly unlikely, considering Offset was questioning the paternity of Cardi's kids. The exes had 3 kids together: Culture, born in 2018, Wave in 2021, and Blossom, born in September 2024. Wow. So it has to be Blossom that he was questioning. And then TMZ said that they obtained a court order. So on the 25th of February, that's when TMZ got the court order. But I wonder how old that court order is. But still, for him to question Blossom, the third child, allegedly, then there must be questions he has, right? Okay. Gossipers, what are your thoughts? So, gossipers, another news is that Chris Brown and Usher, they're going on a tour together, right? So it says that they officially announced a joint stadium tour titled the Raymond and Brown Tour. So, R&B tour, R&B. Oh, shoot. You see that? Raymond and Brown, R&B. Wow. Scheduled for this year, 2026. Revealed on April 10th, 2026 via social media. And I'm not quite sure if you guys remember, but about 3 years ago, it was saying that Usher and Chris Brown got into an incident in Las Vegas, right? And now they're touring. They're going to tour. So far, there's no official dates or concert sale venues, nothing to that effect. But that should be coming soon. And it's nice, right? You're gonna get a mix of classics from both, given their combined influence on R&B music. And you have some people on social media, that's why it's social media, going off with Usher and Chris Brown, to see that, Chris Brown with the Rihanna incident, then Usher with the Diddy and Justin Bieber incident. Chris Brown will never live that incident down with Rihanna, even though the victim herself, Rihanna, forgave him. It's like, and people are saying because of stuff that Chris Brown even did afterwards. It's not like it happened and then he was this clean guy. He still got into fights and arguments, everything like that. But, his talent and his music speaks for itself. So, I think, yeah, I think they're going to get a very good turnout. It's social media. People are going to criticize. And they did get a lot of, positive, that this will be wild with these two major stars, especially when it comes to R&B music. So I think they're going to do good. It's going to do great. It's not like a Kanye West situation where for him, he did have sold out shows in America after what he went through, in the sense that being labeled anti-Semite, he posted the swastika, did a song called Hail Hitler, and wore the KKK uniform. And, he did a public apology, a written apology in the newspaper January of this year. But still, not everyone is in the forgiving mode. If you haven't heard, England banned him, right? Because he's supposed to go in July to do this concert, and they don't want him there. So they're like, you can't enter into the country. And, you have some celebrities who did go see Kanye in concert, and they are now getting backlash for it. You have like Chloe Bailey, Erica Badu, Dave Chappelle. People are coming out and like, why would you go support Kanye or Ye? Why would you go support him? And to see what he said about the Jewish community, his own black community, why support a man like that? And I'm gonna say some people aren't just forgiven, right? They want to see you wallow for a while, even though with Chris Brown, it's been years, probably a decade, right? At least over a decade with his incident with Rihanna, but people will not let him live it down. And even with that being said, though, he's still working. People are still seeing him and supporting him, so he's good. But, back to Kanye. This was last year or the last 3 years, Kanye was going through his episode. That's what he's saying it is. So yes, I think they will. We're back to R&B. I think they will get a good turnout for the tour. And again, no dates, venues, prices, nothing like that has been announced. And I've seen where people, they're complaining about ticket prices, and just everything is going up. And, it has to do with the war and inflation and government shutdown, everything like that. But let me ask you a question. Would you go see Chris Brown and Usher in concert? Is that a yes or a no? Would you go? So we're going to close this out with Kacey Musgrave, right? She's a country singer, and apparently she said that she witnessed a UFO experience. So we're going to go ahead and hear Kacey tell in her own words this encounter with unidentified flying objects. And do you believe in UFOs? I do believe in them personally. I would love to see one. Where I live, they're not active. If you want to put it that way. I'm in Florida. Usually people like in California or Nevada or Arizona, those places, you'll get a lot of reports there, but none in Florida lately. And a quick question, do you believe UFOs, they come from outer space or underwater? Because, a lot of people think they come from underwater. Because you've seen reports where people are talking about they see these crafts, they lift out of the ocean. And I'm like, what? I only know of them in outer space. Because, if we have humans on Earth and trees and plants and animals and this and that. I would like to think there's something else out there. And of course, the American government, they're not confirming if a UFO did land in Roswell. And some are saying yes, some are saying they did see it, but we haven't gotten any concrete evidence. It's just word of mouth, and then people with sightings. And the thing with social media and AI, anybody can create a UFO and put it out there. But I would like to think with so many people speaking about UFO experiences, not everybody is lying. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to go ahead and take a listen to Casey Musgrave.
So I just got off a plane. I flew from Fort Worth to Nashville. It was me and one of my managers, Bobby. And we just had the craziest fucking orb UFO experience. He saw it with me. This is not the first time I've seen many crazy things. Literally, keep looking up. I've seen fire burning in the sky, things that I can't explain. So yeah, this is not the first time, but we just watched these orbs. There was 3 of them. I noticed them. I'm a noticer. I'm always noticing things, but I was about to lay down and take a nap, and I saw these lights that caught my eye that just didn't look normal. And I watched them for a minute, and they were definitely like trailing each other, moving really. Anyways, they were about 50,000 feet up probably. We watched them for maybe like 45 minutes. I have videos. I'm going to post them. Yeah, it looks like I filmed them on a fucking toaster, but that's the quality. That's what we're working with. I have an iPhone 17. So like, but it was just hard to focus because they were far off and it's night time. But like, these orbs were not moving like any craft that we can control. They were intermittently coming and going, forming triangle patterns. They were kind of an orangish color. Sometimes they would get extremely bright and change color, change size. The craziest thing is, so they followed us from about Little Rock area. That's when I noticed them, all the way to Nashville. And we landed, and Bobby and I were like, oh my God, like this is insane. The pilots come back. Anyway, the pilots, come back, open the door, whatever. And we're like, did y'all just see something weird? And they're like, 3 orbs, off in the sky. And we were like, yeah. And both pilots were laughing kind of, and they were like, yeah, we've seen these every single night. And all the other pilots are seeing them too, and nobody knows what they are. And one of the pilots said, yeah, I was in New York last night and I saw him. And the other pilot said, yeah, and I was in Dallas and I saw him also. So yeah, shit is weird, but I'm here for it. I am open to it. I'm here for it. But yeah, they were like changing direction with us. They were following the plane. So yeah. Like I said, this is only one of many, many, many very strange, unexplainable things that I have seen. It's been happening for years. No idea what it is. But is anyone else out there? Are y'all seeing stuff? We live in this time where now we don't know what's real. You know what I mean? So I'll post my video. And again, the quality is total shit, but I'm surprised I even was able to catch it. But yeah, you could have the thing is you could have the best, most high quality footage of something and no one would believe it anyway. So anyway, I keep it weird, y'all. So I just made it back home, and I'm of course like, holy shit, like how am I gonna sleep? I just saw another one. So
gossipers, what are your thoughts? You could go on our Instagram story to see the entire video, but yeah, like I said, I do believe in aliens. I do believe there are other beings, I should say, out there. But yeah, tell me your thoughts. So again, with Cardi B, Offset, Chris Brown, Usher, are they feeling the people out? That's why there are no dates. And Casey Musgrave, she saw UFOs. Your thoughts?